Hello internet, you know what time it's time for another video, and today we're going to be doing a quick kind of HTML, Bootstrap, JavaScript related tutorial, and today we're going to be teaching you on how to make a carousel in the latest release of Bootstrap. Now Bootstrap is a very, obviously I assume you've heard of it, very popular CSS framework, and it's just got a massive overhaul in the past couple of months, and there's a couple of new features, and I just want to specifically show on how to create a carousel in this new Bootstrap environment, and just to show you what it actually looks like. I'm actually just going to do it right now. We're just going to go on my website right here, and as you can see, we've actually got a interactive carousel that we can use right here. So what we're actually going to do today is we're actually going to rebuild this, and we're going to have the solution as a portable solution that anybody can use. So what we're going to do is let's open up brackets, and as we can see is that I've already got an example website. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to quickly open it, and it should, yeah, so as we see, we don't have anything, fancy or special, but we've got the plain essentials is what we've got. So we've got, my title, and we've also got just a simple description, stuff like that. Nothing too, extreme, but that's cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to, just before we start, I just want to state that these are the headers that are required for the Bootstrap scripts. Now I'm going to obviously include this entire code in the description, so you could literally just copy and paste it. And also another prerequisite of doing this tutorial is actually having images. Now for the images, I've just gone with essentially the images I've used on my website, but please keep in mind that all of these images should be the same resolution. So in this case, I'm using 900 by 375, but you can use any resolution you want. But it is vital that every image is the same resolution, or at the very least, it's the same aspect ratio. So for example, if you've got you have to have different resolutions, make sure the ratio, like the display ratio, is 16:9, which is, pretty much every display, modern display out there is usually a 16:9 screen. Anyways, so let's actually get into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in between the nav and so we're going to put it between this, and we're going to put it between the paragraph here. So what we're going to do is we are going to start writing. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get a div open. So we're going to do div ID, and we're just going to call this carousel we're going to call it carousel div, and the class is going to be carousel slide, and the data ride is going to be carousel, and then this is going to be the div where everything is going to be going in. And I'm just going to comment this below, so I actually know this is not relevant. Okay, yeah, so we got that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to create the actual slides, or we need to create the data targets, or the list of data targets. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a OL class. I'm going to equal carousel indicators. Yep, so we got that. Next, we're just going to write a list of data targets. So data target, and the data target in this case is actually going to be the div that we just set up. So it will be hashtag, it will just be hashtag that. So we're going to do that, carousel div, and then, hang on. Okay, yeah, I know what we need to do next. So we do data slide 2, and we're going to equal this to 0. And the final thing we need to do, or the thing I like to do at the end of this, is to do a class which is active. Okay. I think. Sorry about that. I just had to double check something. So before we continue, one of the things we need to do from here on out is we need to decide how many images that we want in this carousel. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to do 3, but to be honest, you could do as many as you want. And also bear in mind that you can update this, real time with, a live API or something, but we're just doing static images for now. So this isn't, essential. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to create, we're going to just copy and paste this. So we're going to just do the same thing again. And this, and what we're going to do data slide to 1, and data slide to 2. And what this should do, and we just make sure we remove class active at the end. And what this should do is effectively, when we open up the website for the first time, the first image will be active and then it will roll to the next one. And we could just, we could change class active to whatever. Like, there's nothing stopping us from doing that, but that's just the way I like to have it set up. Let me just, sorry, I keep getting distracted by my old code, so I'm just putting it all the way down there. Okay, so we got that, and that is that. Next, we're going to actually start adding items. And the way to do that is to do another div class, and we're going to call this Carousel Inner. And this is where all of the carousel items are going to be. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do div class equals carousel item active. And what we're going to do is we're going to effectively, all we need to do is we need to create a div class and an image to essentially, so we're going to create the image caption and the image itself. So what we're going to do is first is we're going to link the image. So what we're going to do is we're going to do image source, and I'm going to do it to the image that I have in the image folder. So I'm just going to make it image1.jpg. And the important thing about this is we need to make sure the class is going to be the entire width. So the class is going to equal dblock width 100 or dblock w-100, and that's going to be our our thing. And I'm just going to put I'm just going to leave it blank for now, but if you're actually making this users for professional use, you should obviously put your alt text stuff in for all your images, so people with accessibility needs can actually still source, I guess, or if they've got like a slow internet connection. That's getting off topic. Let's get back on the topic. So we're doing so next what we're going to do is we're going to do div class, and the div class is going to equal carousel caption, and then d equal d-none dmd block. And what we're going to do with this is we're just going to create some captions. So I'm going to do h5, and I'm going to say image1, and then p, and this is going to equal, this should be image1. And let's just make this all lined up. I know it's not perfectly lined up, but I think this is good enough as we could get. Okay, so now what we should have now is, if we load it up, now we've got our first image. However, as you can see, if we can't actually move to any of the other points yet, so let's actually add those images. And literally what we could do is we could just copy and paste what we've just done. So let's just get this and just copy it 2 times. And what we're going to do is we're just going to modify it slightly. So let's get rid of the active on both of these. And we're just going to change this to image2, image3, and we're going to call it image2, image3. We're just going to change it. I know these are not very inspiring captions, but they will do. And and what should happen now is, now if we click it, so now we've got the images, which is cool. But there's one more thing we need, because one of the things I showed in my website is it actually had arrows on the right and the left, and that's actually quite easy to implement. So we're just going to do that very quickly before we wrap up this video. So it's important that this is done in, I think, I figured it out. Okay, so we got to close the carousel inner, because that's where all of our items are. And what we're going to do is that we're going to do a class, and we're going to call this carousel control brev, and the reference to this is going to be the actual the carousel div itself. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. So carousel div, and the role is going to equal button, and the data slide is going to be prev. So let's just say, data slide is equal to prev, and in this, so essentially what we're going to do is we're going to do a span class. Span class equals carousel. I'm getting a little bit, I keep on saying carousel in this video. So we're going to do carousel control prev icon, and we're going to do area hidden equals true. and we can just, and we're just going to do another span class. And then we're going to do it's just going to be SR only. And we're just going to put in previous. And what we could do is we can literally just copy and paste this for the next one. So let's just do that. And we're going to call this next. And the data slide, I believe, needs to be next as well. Yeah, so just before I make an absolute horrific mistake, this is going to be control next. So we'll just do next. And just to make life easier, we're just going to comment this. Previous button and next button. Next button. Okay. And now let's just double check. Yeah, so everything's here. So what should, oh wait, before you, this should actually be next, shouldn't it? Because we will either get the weird icon. Okay, so now if we refresh, okay, you can now see it. It's a little bit, it's hard to see because these images are quite white, but as you can see, we've actually got arrows on both of the images, and effectively, if we just leave it for a bit, it should just loop. Let's hope. Moment of truth. Come on. Yeah, so as you can see is they will automatically loop every couple of seconds, and yeah, it's going back, and this is a really good way to showcase your work or your art or your code or anything. And I've just chosen some random images, and I've only chosen 3, but you could totally expand it. And also bear in mind that this will also work on mobile, and also it works well to different resolutions. So for instance, I could, like, you know, make it really tiny and it will still retain its width. So as you can see, look, so I can make it smaller, smaller, smaller. And as you can see, it's actually doing a quite good job of keeping the size. But yeah, that's kind of really it. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you guys. If you want more Bootstrap 5 videos, just please say in the comments. And as I've always stated in all of my videos, all of the code in this video will be available in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.